What's up, YouTube? Timers here. Now, here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10, 20, 30, and 40 this week. Alright, the films celebrating their 10th anniversary, we got the movie Wild. Now, Wild starred Reese Witherspoon and was directed by the late director John Mark Valley, who sadly passed away a couple years back. Now, this also starred Reese Witherspoon and Laura Dern, who will both also reunite with Mark Valley for Big Little Lies. And this is actually based on a memoir by Cheryl Strayed, with Reese Witherspoon playing the role of Strayed, who embarked on a hiking trip on the Pacific Coast Trail in 1995 after numerous personal problems had left her in shambles. And this is actually a really nice little film if you guys haven't seen it. Of course, both Reese Witherspoon and Laura Dern actually got Oscar nominations for this. Well deserved there. Laura Dern was really solid in this one, playing Reese Witherspoon's mother. Reese was terrific. It's shown she doesn't really do these type of dramatic performances anymore. Like she's obviously won an Oscar for Walk the Line. She got not nomination for this, and she was really solid in this one here too. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely check out Wild. All right. Also turning. All right. Also turning 10 is Top 5. Now this movie starred and was directed by Chris Rock, and starred some really other it had a lot of really cool supporting players. Like it does star Rosario Dawson, but other additions includes the likes of Gabrielle Union, Kevin Hart, J.B. Smoove, Adam Sandler was in this, Leslie Jones, Jerry Seinfeld, list goes on and on. In it stars Chris Rock as Andre Allen, who confronts his past and comic career while doing an interview with journalist Chelsea Brown, played by Dawson. And this is actually a really nice little film if you guys haven't seen it. I mean, it's obviously is about comedian and it does have comedy in it. It actually has more heart in it than you expect to. And Chris Rock really played his part very well here. Rosario Dawson's terrific. Gabrielle Union, Cedric the Entertainer pops up. He's really fun. It's a really nice little film about the comedy world, and obviously Kevin Hart, Chris Rock does it perfectly. You also got a fun cameo by DMX, which is really cool to see. I mean, DMX, of course, actually plays himself, which I thought was really fun. So, yeah, definitely go check out Top 5 if you guys haven't seen that. Alright, also turning 10 is the terrible movie called The Pyramid. Yeah, The Pyramid here, starred Ashley Henshaw, who played, the female lead in Chronicle. And the plot follows this archaeological team attempting to unlock the secrets of a lost pyramid, only to find themselves haunted by a creature here. And it is awful. I remember watching this one in theaters. It's not really memorable at all. It's so terrible, so generic, so boring. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense why I decided to really dump that thing in the first week of December. So, yeah. All right. Films turning 20 this week is the movie Closer. Now, Closer is directed by Mike Nichols, who you might know directed The Graduate. He's done some other stuff here and there. Now, Closer stars the likes of Jude Law, Julie Roberts, Natalie Portman, and Clive Owen. And in it, you got Alice, played by Natalie Portman, who's an American stripper, who moved to London and meets Dan, played by Jude Law, on the streets while looking at him. A taxi hits her, and after taking her to the hospital, Dan begins dating Alice, and a year later, Dan, who also has written a novel about Alice, is bored and flirts with a photographer named Anna, played by Julia Roberts, pretending to be her in a chat room, and leads the dermatologist Larry, played by Clive Owen, for to an accidental meeting with Anna as years pass and both relationships deteriorate. And this is a really nice little film. Of course, Clive Owen. This was actually the movie that really made me become a fan of Clive Owen's acting. I've seen Clive Owen here and there beforehand, but this is actually the movie that really made me appreciate him more here. And of course, you got Jude Law's terrific, who, by the way, he's great on Scouts of Crew. Natalie Portman's terrific. Julia Roberts. I mean, this is actually based on a play of the same name, and it actually got a couple of Oscar nominations. Like Natalie Portman got one. I think Clive Owen got a nomination, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a really nice little film worth giving a go. All right, also turning 20 is House of the Flying Daggers. Now, this stars famed Chinese actress Zi Zhang. And it's about a romantic police captain breaks into a beautiful member of a rebel group out of prison to help her rejoin her fellows. But things, of course, are not what they seem. And this movie is beautiful to watch. Like the cinematography and visuals in this is insane. Z Zhang, who I feel like doesn't really do anything. Like she was, of course, in Rush Hour. I think she was in Memoirs of a Geisha, if I'm not mistaken. She's one of the most gorgeous Chinese actresses in the business. Like I kid you not. Look, I mean, if I got a list of like one of the most gorgeous, one of the most gorgeous Chinese actresses in the business, Zai Zhang would definitely be on that list. But yeah, this is a really intriguing film worth giving a go. It's really fun to check out. If you guys never seen House of Flying Daggers, definitely give it a go. This and Hero, and even like Crouching Tiger, are definitely two of the better Chinese movies of all time. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really watch as much as international films as I should, but there are some I have appreciated, and House of Flying Daggers is one of them. Hero, with Jet Li. Crouching Tigers is a good one. The first one, that is. Didn't care for the Netflix sequel, but anyway. All right. Now, films turning 30 this week is Cobb. Now, this movie starred Tommy Lee Jones as baseball player Ty Cobb, directed by Ron Shelton, who was always very popular with the sports gang. Because he also directed Bull Durham, and he also did like other Kevin Costner ones. I think he did Tin Cup, if I'm not mistaken, or was that someone else? Anywho, uh, and the film is told through the partnership between Cobb and sports writer Al Stump, who served as the ghostwriter of Cobb's autobiography. And this is actually a really decent film. Tom Lee Jones was solid in this. Really embodied the role of Ty Cobb perfectly. I mean, who doesn't love a good baseball movie, right? So definitely give that one a go. All right, also turning 30 is Tom and Viv, which tells the story of the relationship between T.S. Eliot and his first wife, Vivian Highwood. And they were, of course, married in 1915 after a brief courtship. And although they separated in 1933, they never divorced. This is, of course, a period piece film starring William Dafoe, Miranda Richardson. It also has a little bit of a Spider-Man connection because William Dafoe, who obviously played Norman Osborn in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, he's in this. And another person who's in this is Rosemary Harris, who you might know who played Aunt May in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. So a little bit of a Spider-Man connection here. It is a really decent one, worth giving a go. William Dafoe, who doesn't love William Dafoe? He's terrific in this. Really decent little film if you guys haven't seen it. All right, also turning 30 is Trapped in Paradise, starring the likes of Nicolas Cage, Dana Carvey, and John Lovitz, about small-time crooks who happens to be brothers pull off a bank robbery in a town called Paradise. And this is not really like a great film or anything like that, but it's actually pretty fun. The chemistry between the likes of Cage, Harvey, and Lovitz, like these are two actors you would not really expect to actually even do a film together. Uh, and Nicolas Cage actually really plays the part very well. John Lovitz and Dana Carvey, who obviously at the time was very popular on SNL, seeing those two play off each other is really good. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, it is a really fun one worth giving a go. All right, now films turning 40 this week. Oh boy, this is a doozy here. We got Beverly Hills Cop. Now, of course, this past summer, we saw the release of Beverly Hills Cop Action F, which was really cool to see. But the original film turns 40 this week. Starring Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley, who's a street smart Detroit detective who visits Beverly Hills, California to solve the murder of his best friend. Of course, you got Judge Reinhold, the late John Ashton, a very fun cameo by Damon Wayans as the Banana character. It would, I'm not gonna lie, it would have been cool if they actually got Damon Wayans Jr. To cameo in the new one. I think that was a missed opportunity. But anyway, Beverly Hills Cop is a 1980s comedy classic. Who doesn't love the original Beverly Hills Cop? Really. Now I know Eddie Murphy did obviously SNL, 48 Hours, and all, but Beverly Hills Cop was the movie that really put him on the map. As a comedy superstar. And yeah, Beverly Hills Cop is just a comic classic. It's so fun. Lots of memorable lines, memorable scenes. I mean, if you guys never seen the original Beverly Hills Cop, go watch it. It's a really classic. All right, also turning 40, we got City Heat starring Burt Reynolds and Richard Roundtree. It takes place in 1933, where private investigator Mike Murphy, played by Reynolds, is shocked when his partner Deli Swift, played by Richard Roundtree, aka Shaft, is killed by thugs working for Promo Pitt, played by Rip Torn. And of course, Murphy asks his former police partner, Lieutenant Spear, played by Clint Eastwood, for help to putting a stop to the mobster here. And also you have like Jane Alexander. It was also written by Blake Edwards, who directed the original Pink Panther, and he does some other iconic classic like the movie 10. And of course, this was directed by Richard Benjamin, who did that movie Mermaids with Cher and Winona Ryder. He's done some other cool stuff. City Heat was pretty much a buddy film with Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood, and it's a lot of fun. It's definitely like, who doesn't love Clint Eastwood? Like, he was always so iconic in like with acting in the 80s and 70s and all that. Burt Reynolds, like, seeing those two pair off with one another was really good. I mean, if you guys never seen City Heat, definitely give that one a go. All right, also turning 40, we got 2010, which is pretty much like a serves as a sequel to 2001: A Space Odyssey. This was directed by Peter Hyams, who also did some other stuff like I'm trying to remember what else he did. Oh yeah, he did Universal Soldier with John Claude Van Damme and all. He does some other stuff here and there. And this is a pretty terrible one. The film follows a joint American and Soviet crew who are sent to Jupiter to pretty much discover one mission here, and it starred the likes of Jaws actor Roy Schneider, Helen Mirren, John Lithgow, Bob Balaban. I mean, it had some really disappointing players, but and of course it was like served as a sequel to 2001: Space Odyssey, of course, 2010, and it's like actual title is 2010, the year we made contact, and it's not so memorable. Like, if you just want to watch something better, just watch 2001: Space Odyssey. You don't need to bother with this one. It's so terrible, so generic, so boring. It's not really that memorable at all. Also turning 40 is the Institution, which is a slasher that stars some really interesting cast members like Daphne Zuniga, who will go on to appear in Spaceballs, Vera Mills, who you might know as the sister from the original Psycho, Clue Gallagher, who's been in like horror films like Piranha 3 and all, and pretty much focuses on a young woman plagued by disturbing recurring nightmares who finds herself and fellow sorority pledges stalked by a killer during their institution ritual in a department store after hours. Now, this isn't really as classic as, let's say, other 80s horror slashers or anything like that, but it's a really decent one worth giving a go. Some really cool cool 80s actors like from Daphne Zuniga, who was gorgeous back day. I'm not gonna lie. Clue Gallagher, who's always terrific. I mean, got some really cool cast members in this. I'd say give it a go if you guys haven't seen it. But that's pretty much it there. Let me let you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? To me, the 10-year one is going to be top 5, because top 5 is so good. 20-year one is going to go to Closer. 30-year one, I'm going to go with Cobb with Tommy Lee Jones. And 40-year one is going to Beverly Hills Cop. Anyway, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Timmy signing off.